is turn on the TV and listen to stuff about Katrina. We have Canadian equivalents too, but Katrina is the big one. I mean, when you looked at people who either made a decision or didn't make a decision, inaction or action, they ended up being what we call space stupid. That's astronaut jargon for being suddenly disoriented with abrupt change. Suddenly disoriented with abrupt change. As a neurologist, I sometimes get patients and I talk to them about abrupt change. And one of the things we look for in patients with some diseases is double vision. And I remember one time I had a resident who was training with me, and the resident was trying to get this history from the patient, and she kept saying to the patient, now, was your onset of double vision gradual or abrupt? And I'm looking at her saying, double vision is like, it's there or it's not there, right? There's no sort of gray area. So the ability to be able to understand what abrupt change is, you just have to think of what it would be if there was no change at all. When we get into space, we are so disoriented when we first get up there for various reasons, which I'll get into, that we scratch our head, we look at books that we're so familiar with, and we swear we've never seen them before. I mean, how many of you have picked up a book, like I've done, like 5 years later, you look at it, and you know, who did all that overlining in this book? You know, I don't remember writing that. Now, yesterday I helped launch the national spokesperson now for the Alzheimer's 100th anniversary of the identification as a disease entity. And the whole day long, people were giving me examples of how they were forgetting things. And I've been trying to tell them, you know, it's part of natural evolution of us as a life form, but Alzheimer's disease is a separate entity. It's not old age. Forgetting things is part of who we are as life forms. But in space, it is big time, like upside down, backwards, and what I call oblique thinking. Space stupid is something then that comes anytime we make a decision and there is sudden change. Space stupid is the state whereby we feel that we want to get out of it right away. It's some place where we start feeling sick. Things are sort of upside down. We are totally unable to cope with the sudden change that we are facing. Whether it's businesses dealing with some marketing issue, some ethics issue, something gets thrown at you when you walk into work, and suddenly you're entering this field that we call space stupid. Space stupid, people want to get out of it right away. It's like throwing up. I mean, how many people really like throwing up? Nobody does. Nobody likes to remain dizzy all their life. So the human body tries to get away from things that it feels that are bad for it. When people are space stupid, when people are disoriented with sudden change, they want to move away from it. But guess what? In the world we're living in now, space stupid is not a period of just transition. It is now the new normal. And the company that can actually shrink the period of space stupid is going to be the most successful. So the period of transition no longer is transition, it is the new normal. So space stupid is what you feel when you first get into this period. You want to get out of it. It's a period of transition, but you understand that transition, dynamic environments, become the new norm. And you don't have to go to space to figure this out. However, because we go to space, we have some things to pass along. Oblique thinking I refer to as those things that keep coming off the wall at you, come from behind your head, up through your feet, things you weren't expecting at all, and they kind of turn you around. You have to get used to the idea of things coming from angles that you wouldn't expect them to come from. You have to anticipate. So for down here, for example, if I said, hey, I dropped my pen, you're going to find my pen. Immediately you're going to look at the floor, because gravity pulls everything down. In space, you wouldn't know where to look. We can't focus in the middle of the air, so things tend to get lost. Down here in the ground, you're used to things that are basically horizontal and vertical. Sure, the staircase is at an oblique angle, but you kind of look at it and you know it's a staircase. But how many other things be at an oblique angle like that and start making you feel a little bit queasy in your stomach? So the idea is to be able to recognize things and anticipate them before they throw you into this terrible position of being space stupid.